what would be left of us after 10,000 years? Our property, the coins left in our pockets which we forgot to use for the taxi fare, our notes, and even the cup in which we have our everyday coffee. All these things which may seem unimportant to us, they're going to be the treasures which are going to tell the story of the period of time we are living in. Yes, there's a chance for them to remain, but every scrap of you and I would disappear. Today I'm going to give review and analysis on a movie called The Dig. But before we start anything, I would like to say something. I love soundtracks of the movies, and this movie is one of those which has really beautiful soundtracks. I put the soundtracks on my Telegram channel, so if you'd like to have those, you can just go to the description and join my Telegram channel. The Dig is a true story-based movie, which is telling the story of Edith Pretty living in 1930 and how she could find the treasures left from the Saxons period. Edith Pretty was born in 1883 from a Scottish family in England. She was brought up in wealth, and she was a well-educated, articulate person with deep interest in archaeology. After her husband passing away, while she was raising her teenage son, she decides to excavate the mounds in her vast garden. And she gets help from a professional excavator whose name was Basil Brown. Mr. Brown was a self-taught archaeologist who started to dig the mounds with a great passion and hard work. And since very early moments of his conversation with Mrs. Pretty, they find this similarity between them, this deep interest in it. So a warm friendship starts forming between these two very different people. Before even starting the work, the rumors of a hidden treasure beneath the mounds spreads all over the town and the village. And then there are some people sent from the museum who are trying to involve themselves into this project. But we see Mrs. Brown is not willing to cooperate with them. And it is kind of strange. Why doesn't she want to leave this work in the hands of more professional people? And instead, she leaves it to Mr. Brown to decide what to do. I could find two answers to this question. The first answer is that Mrs. Brown has newly found this skillful, reliable friend who maybe is reminding her of the good old days. The days when she was a child and she used to help her father in exploring and excavating the treasures. And another reason is very obvious. She doesn't trust the museum. There is a war going to start, and this war can destroy or even steal the treasures in the museum. But after a while, whether she wants it or not, there is a group of archaeologists who are involved in this project by the order of Ministry of Work. And also Mr. Brown doesn't seem happy with it. And it's because he doesn't want to lose the chance of doing something more important in his life. It's not just about money, it means more to him. He would like to be remembered with such a beautiful thing. Just like all of us, he wants a piece of him remains in this world after he dies.
Mark my words, May, I won't receive any credit. I won't even be a footnote.
Is that why you took the job, for the credit?
Well, how can I stay on to be a labourer? Is that why you've been digging in the soil your whole life?
No, mate.
I do it because I'm good at it. I found that ship. Jacobs and Spooner too, and nobody will remember that.
And after some time of working in there, they find a trace of a ship, buckles, jewels, sword, and a helmet beneath the mound. And these treasures are believed to belong to Saxons period, a cultural group who inhabited England in the 6th century. They trace their origins to 5th century of incomers to Britain. They actually migrated from the North Sea coastlands of mainland Europe. So many aspects of English nation goes back to that time. I mean, there are cultural and governmental rules which are remained from then, including the regional governmental rules of shires and hundreds. So during this period, this Saxons period, the literature and language was flourishing. And I have to say, 26% of the modern English is actually including the Old English. the language which was spoken by them. So this is the historical side, and it is supposed to be what the whole movie is about. But it is not. There is another beautiful side alongside this historical part, which is making this movie complete. As you can see, during all scenes of the movie, there is the footprint of war and an upcoming death. There are groups of strongholds everywhere. We can hear people saying to each other, who knows if we can stay alive in a year. And there are cars driving around and informing people of the different kinds of attacks. On the other hand, we can see Mrs. Pretty, who is coping with a deadly disease. She's panicking and facing depression of losing her life and her son. And unfortunately, her adventurous soul is leading her to much suffer. It's like she has a great passion inside, but there is an aggressive officer who is stopping her from entering her wonderland. And also, let's not forget Rory Lomax, who is going to be a soldier in a war. So we can smell death and immortal life during the whole movie. But at the same time, we are seeing this ship which goes back to a long time before. In fact, we are having an image of mortality and immortality. So this movie is also about life, which seems to be short and mortal. But in fact, it is a collection of shorter stories. The stories which in each of them, there used to be people with different situations who were at some times seeking hopelessly for a longer stay. The shorter story of either you and I, or Mrs. Pretty, or even the Saxons who left their treasures in Sutton Hoo. The important thing is that no matter how hard you try, you have no other choice than just facing death one day. But as Mrs. Pretty says in the movie, life is very fleeting and it has moments you should seize. So you can seize them or you just lose everything.
We die and we decay. We don't live on.
Oh, I'm not sure I agree. From the first human handprint on a cave wall, we're part of something continuous. So we don't really die.
So this was the movie I chose for today, and it actually provoked such beautiful emotions in me. I hope you could enjoy my analysis. If you did, please like my video and also put comments and also subscribe my channel so you won't miss my next movie reviews and top 5 movies. Also, I was forgetting, for the next week I'm gonna upload a 10 top movies 10 top movies of the 2021. So subscribe. Until the next video, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.